Babe of the day. Babe of the day. Barbi Benton. Wow, Barbi Benton. She looked good all over, but those legs. Yowza. I could easily do a Babe of the Day video on each and every one of the Hee Haw Honeys, but Barbi gets to be first. Barbi Benton had a good career in show business before and after Hee Haw, but I think most people remember her best for the Hee Haw show. This isn't a bad thing. Hee Haw was a showcase for awesome, real country music, countrified humor, and beautiful women. The show had a way of intertwining all three of these elements, and it just seemed to bring out the best in its performers. Barbi Benton seemed a natural choice as a Hee Haw honey, despite the fact that she was born to a Jewish family in New York City and grew up in Sacramento, California, far away from Cornfield County in the Deep South. Besides this, she had the look and the bubbly personality to pass for a sexy hillbilly girl. Barbi just seemed to get it. Not all good-looking women make good comedians on country comedy shows, but Barbi was a good fit. Barbi Benton was born as Barbara Lynn Klein. From a very early age, she had diverse interests such as scuba diving, playing piano, and modeling. At one time, she wanted to be a veterinarian, but that didn't work out due to the fact she didn't like the sight of blood. By the age of 16, she started modeling, and all those other interests took a back seat for a while. While in college, at age 18, she took a job with Playboy to appear on their entertainment show, Playboy After Dark. If you haven't seen this show, it's worth checking out. Its run was very short, only 2 seasons of 52 episodes from 1969 to 70. However, it was a well-done take on the variety show formula, with music and comedy acts presented as a big Playboy party. Hugh Hefner was the host. Barbi started on the show as just an extra, but Hugh got designs on her, so when they started dating, she quickly became co-host. By the way, he was 42 years old at the time. He greatly persuaded Barbi to change her name from Barbara Klein to the more marketable Barbi Benton, and she did, never looking back. Barbi Benton was quickly plunged into the center of the Playboy enterprise. She appeared on the cover 4 times and was in a number of photo spreads, but was never a Playmate of the Month. From the beginning of her relationship with Hugh, her status was a bit higher than Playmate. In 1974, she persuaded Hugh Hefner to buy the now legendary Playboy Mansion. Their relationship lasted for about 7 years, ending in 1976, but they did remain friends. As a matter of fact, she appeared on a Playboy cover for the December 1985 issue. After Playboy After Dark, but before Hee Haw, Barbi Benton was the star of a really seedy sex comedy called How Did a Nice Girl Like You Get Into This Business? It was a West German production released in 1970. Although it had some other well-known actors like Broderick Crawford, Lionel Stander, and Klaus Kinski to name a few, it remains an obscure movie and very R-rated. I don't think it was the film debut Barbi probably wanted, and it was far from the family-friendly fare she did before and after this. She became a regular on Hee Haw in 1972, and, despite her iconic status as a Hee Haw honey, was only on the show for 4 years, ending in 1976, although some of her footage was held over until 1977. During her time on the show, she got a number of other film and TV roles, and was quite well received. She also returned for episodes of Hee Haw in 1980 and 1983. In 1974, Barbi started recording for Playboy's music label. In just 2 years, she had 3 albums and 5 singles, including one with famous country singer Mickey Gilley. Although she did record 2 albums after 1976, neither of them sold that well. Her recording career was moderately successful, but it didn't make her a music superstar. I'm surprised by this, because I thought she had a good voice and the type of music was what was popular with audiences at the time. I think what held her back was not being taken seriously due to the fact that she was a Playboy model and hee-haw girl. Along with recording goes touring, and Barbi really needed to tour to sell her stuff. This took a toll on her relationship with Hugh. He had asked her to marry him 4 times, but she refused due to the fact that he wasn't faithful during their relationship. With that, and her being gone all the time, the relationship ended. So did her time at Playboy Records. She did one final album for Playboy in 1978, called Ain't That Just the Way, that was only released in Scandinavia. It never saw American release. The title track, however, was a #1 hit in Sweden for 5 weeks. Nobody knew it in America, though. Then, in 1996, soul singer Lucretia McNeil did a cover version of Barbi's song, making it a worldwide hit that sold 2 million copies. It's a roundabout way to make a musical legacy, but hey, whatever works. In the same year, 1976, she left the Hee Haw show to concentrate on a more Hollywood-focused career. Personally, I think she left the show too soon. She was good on the show, and I think if she had stayed on it for just a few years longer, things would have played out better for her down the road. Barbi had a lot of guest parts on popular TV shows during the late 70s through the early 80s. She did several episodes of Fantasy Island and The Love Boat, just to name a few, among many others. In 1977, Barbi was given her very own sitcom called Sugar Time. Barbi played Max Douglas, the leader of a rock trio called Sugar. It lasted only 13 episodes. The reasons for shows getting canceled so early on can vary, but I'm surprised, given Barbi's iconic status in the 70s, that she wasn't given another series of her own. She was still in high demand as a featured guest actress on numerous TV shows until her retirement from acting in 1986. As far as mainstream movies go, Barbi didn't do many. The ones she did, though, were interesting. In 1982, she was the star of a horror movie called Hospital Massacre, also known as X-Ray. In this movie, she was the heroine, avoiding a murderer posing as a surgeon who, unsuccessfully, tries to kill her throughout the whole movie. At the very end, Barbi wins and it's a happy ending, unlike most slasher movies that are just downers. This movie did see a limited theatrical release, but is better known as a home video favorite. You probably know someone who rented it back in the day. A movie that she did that was a much bigger hit was Deathstalker in 1983. This was a barbarian movie, meant to cash in on the success of the popular Conan the Barbarian movie from the previous year. Although Barbi wasn't the top star, Deathstalker is a dude, she was the leading lady, playing a beautiful damsel in distress, Princess Codile. Deathstalker was a hit in theaters, and continued to do well on home video and in the early days of cable television. Although it never gets the acclaim of Arnold Schwarzenegger's Conan, it did get followed by 3 sequels. One of the other major players in the movie, Lana Clarkson, got 2 Barbarian Queen movies because of this. Shameless self-plugging time. Shameless self-plugging time. Check out my Babe of the Day video for Lana Clarkson. She was an incredibly beautiful and talented actress who was taken from us way too soon. Lana did a lot of great work that deserves to be appreciated. You would think that after the success of Deathstalker, Barbi would have been in more movies, but that just didn't happen. She continued to be popular on television and, as it is, she's still known best for modeling and being a TV star. In 1979, Barbi married a real estate developer named George Gradow. After the birth of their first child in 1986, Barbi decided to retire from acting. She would ultimately have 2 children. Although Barbi has been mostly retired since 1986, she has not been totally inactive. In 1988, she released her last album. Unlike her previous country-tinged pop music, Kinetic Voyage was mostly instrumental with a lot of experimental music, piano and synthesizer new age stuff. Although she didn't act anymore, she hosted a number of specials, mainly Playboy stuff. An interesting show she did was an episode of MTV's Extreme Cribs, showing off her home in Aspen, Colorado called the Copper Palace. Barbi Benton was a popular public figure for almost 2 straight decades and is still loved by her fans, young and old, earning her status of Babe of the Day, Babe of the Day.